Hegra, ancient Greek, known to Muslims as Al-Hijr, Arabic, also known as Madain Shaleh, Arabic, Romanized, Madain Ali, lit. Cities of Shaleh, is an archaeological site which is located in the Al-Ula area in the Medina province in the Hejaz, Saudi Arabia. Most of the remains come from the Nabatean kingdom, 1st century AD. This site was the kingdom's southernmost settlement and the second largest city after Petra, now in Jordan, its capital. Traces of Lehionite and Roman occupations before and after Nabatean rule can also be found. The Quran places the settlement of the Thamudi people in the time of Shaleh, between Noah, and Hud on one side. And Abraham, and Moses, on the other side. However, a definitive historical chronology cannot be obtained through verse order due to the fact that the surahs of the Quran deal with different subjects in a non-chronological order. According to Islamic texts, Thamudi was punished by God for their idolatry, being hit by an earthquake and a lightning strike. As such, the site has earned a reputation as a cursed place, an image that the national government is trying to overcome as it seeks to develop Madain Shaleh for its tourism potential. In 2008, UNESCO declared Madain Shaleh a heritage site, becoming the first World Heritage Site in Saudi Arabia. It was chosen for its well-preserved remains from late antiquity, notably the 131 stone-carved monumental tombs, with intricately decorated facades, from the Nabatean kingdom. Location. The archaeological site of Hegra is located 20 kilometers 12 miles north of the town of Al-Ula, 400 kilometers 250 miles northwest of Medina and 500 kilometers 310 miles southeast of Petra, Jordan. Al-Istakri writes in Al-Masalik, Al-Hijr is a small village. It belongs to Wadi al-Ghura and is situated on a day trip within the mountains. It is the homeland of the Thamudian people. The site is on a plain, at the foot of the basalt plateau, which forms part of the Hejaz Mountains. Beneath the western and northwestern parts of the site, the water level can be reached at a depth of 20 meters 66 feet. The setting is notable for its desert landscape, which is characterized by sandstone outcrops of various sizes and elevations. 2. The history of the pre-Dedanite era. According to Islamic tradition, the site of Al-Hijr is inhabited by the tribe of Thamud, who took palaces from their plains and carved from mountains houses. Quran 7, 73-79. Quran 11, 61-69. Quran 15, 80-84. The tribe fell into idol worship, and oppression became common. Shaleh, to whom the name Madain Shaleh is often associated, called for Thamudi to repent. The Thamudis ignored the warning and instead ordered Shaleh to summon a pregnant she-camel from behind the mountain. So a pregnant she-camel was sent to the people from behind the mountain, as evidence of Shaleh's divine mission. However, only a minority heed his words. The unbelievers killed the holy camel instead of tending it as instructed, and the calf ran back to the mountain from which it came. The Thamudis were given 3 days before their punishment took place, because they disbelieved and did not heed the warning. Shaleh and his monotheistic followers left the city, but the others were punished by God. Their souls left their bodies lifeless amid earthquakes and lightning strikes. 3. According to the Quran. According to the Quran and tradition, Thamud existed much earlier than the 715 BC inscription of Sargon II would suggest. However, recent research in Islamic studies confirms that the definitive chronology of Thamud cannot be reached from the context of the Quran and that this narrative does not describe the continuous history of the ancient peoples, because these are not in genealogical succession, nor do they interact with each other. Robert Hoyland suggests that their name was later adopted by other new groups that inhabited the Madain Shaleh area after the disappearance of the indigenous Thamud. This suggestion is also supported by Abdullah ibn Umar's narration and Ibn Kathir's analysis, which reports that people call the region Thamud al-Hijr, while they refer to the provinces of Madain Shaleh as Ard Thamud, land of Thamud, and Beit Thamud, Samud's house. Thus the term, Samud, is not applied to the groups living in Madain Saleh, such as the Lehayanites and Nabateans, but rather to the region itself, and according to classical sources, it has been agreed that the only remaining group of the original inhabitants of Thamud is the tribe of Bani Thaqif, who inhabit the city of Thamud, Taif, south of Mecca. Four. Nabatean era. A characteristic of Nabatean rock-cut architecture, the geology of Hegra, Madain Saleh, provides the perfect medium for carving monumental structures, with Nabatean inscriptions inscribed on their facades. The Nabateans also developed oasis farming, dug wells and rainwater tanks in rocks, and carved places of worship in sandstone outcrops. Similar structures are shown in other Nabatean settlements, starting from southern Syria region to the north, heading south to the Negev, and down to the immediate area of the Hedges. The most prominent and the largest of them is Petra. At the junction of trade, the Nabatean Empire flourished, holding a monopoly for the trade of incense, myrrh and spices. Located on a land caravan route and connected to the Red seaport of Egracombe, Hegra, as it was known among the Nabateans, culminated as a major staging post on the main north-south trade route. Roman times. In 106 AD, the Nabatean kingdom was annexed by the contemporary Roman Empire. The Hedges, which included Hegra, became part of the Roman province of Arabia. In the 1960s and 1970s, evidence was found that Trajan's Roman legions occupied Madain Saleh in northeastern Arabia, increasing the expansion of the Roman province of Arabia Petraea in Arabia. The history of Hegra, from the fall of the Roman Empire to the rise of Islam, is still unknown. It is only mentioned sporadically by travelers and pilgrims going to Mecca in the following centuries. Hegra served as a station along the pilgrimage route, providing supplies and water to pilgrims. Among these records is a description made by the 14th-century traveler Ibn Battuta, noting the red stone tomb of Hegra, then known as Al-Hijr. However, he made no mention of human activity there. 6. Ottoman era is that the Ottomans annexed Western Arabia from the Mamluks in 1517. In the earliest Ottoman records of the pilgrimage route between Damascus and Mecca, Hegra Madain Saleh is not mentioned until 1672, when the Turkish traveler Evliya Çelebi records that the caravan was passing somewhere called Abyar Saleh, where there are the remains of 7 cities. Again mentioned by traveler Murtada ibn Alaun as a stopping point on the route called Al-Madain. Between 1744 and 1757, a fortress was built at Al-Hijr by order of the Ottoman governor in Damascus, Sa'ad Pasha al-Azm. A water tank supplied by a large well within the fort was also built, and the site served as a one-day stop for Hajj pilgrims where they could purchase items such as dates, lemons and oranges. It was part of the fort that was built to protect the pilgrimage route to Mecca. According to Al-Ansari's research, Ottoman fortifications were found near a settlement dating back to 1600 AD in 1984. The development of the times. In 1962, examples of many inscriptions were discovered and updated the archaeological assessment of Hijr, Madain Shaleh by Winnett and Reed. Although the Al-Hijr site was declared an archaeological treasure in the early 1970s, several investigations have been carried out since then. Murdad has lived here for a short time and has written notices about the area since 1977. Healy studied here in 1985 and wrote a book on the Hijr Madain Saleh inscription in 1993. The prohibition of worshipping objects, artifacts results in a lack of archaeological activity. These conservative measures began to subside starting in 2000, when Saudi Arabia invited expeditions to undertake archaeological explorations as part of the government's push to promote the protection of cultural heritage and tourism. The archaeological site was proclaimed a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2008. More recent archaeological studies of the area have been carried out as part of efforts to document and preserve the heritage site before opening up the area to more tourism. That's 7 brief history quoted from wikipedia.com. Hope it is useful. Thank you.